Welcome to News West 9's West Texas View with Johnny Lou Avery.
Welcome to the West Texas View. I'm Johnny Lou Avery, and you're going to meet someone that you're going to really identify with this morning. Gloria Youngblood is a person who started doing some missions a few years ago and really got hooked. And her whole family is now involved. And she's got such a great story to tell that I wanted you to hear it. She will soon be leaving to go to Uganda to do another mission. And Gloria, I want you to talk a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in this.
Okay, well, when my husband and I were in our late 20s, we were, I guess the word is called, to go on our very first mission trip to Brazil. And
this was through your church?
Through our church. We heard a missionary come speak at our church, and I'd never gone anywhere internationally at that point. And when I heard him talk, the missionary that had come to our church, I just knew it was God's calling on my life at that point to go to Brazil. And I remember walking out of the church and telling my husband, "Do you want to go to Brazil?" And he went, "Brazil?" And, that was so far-fetched, but we did. We went on the trip, and
so did you have a job, and were you having to put your job on hold? And
yes.
He had to take vacation, or
had
what?
Jobs, and he had to put his job on hold, and it didn't even look like we could go to begin with, but God paved the way for us to go, and we went. And my husband had some reluctance. I didn't. I just knew that was what we were supposed to do. But by the time we got back, that was it. It was all she wrote, because at that point he felt called to. And I guess from that point on, almost every year since then, as long as we've had an opportunity, we have used our summers to go, our vacations to go on a mission trip.
And take the family?
Well, of course, we were in our 20s then. Our daughter was really young, and that was a real hard thing to do, was go and leave her with my mom at the time, who was alive. But we did. We just felt strong enough about what we were doing that we left her behind. But then she grew up in watching us do missions, and she actually went to China one year and taught English in a China camp for 3 weeks. And then her older daughter now, who's 20, actually went to Honduras last year with me, and this year she's going to Uganda with us. It'll be her first time to Africa. So.
And you went thinking, what can I give them? And you came back thinking, what they gave me?
Yeah, you go because you really feel called to go bless the people, and you know that's part of it. And I think if you thought to yourself that you were going for any other reason, it would be wrong anyway to say, I'm going to improve myself or to get a blessing. But what happens in the process is that you are so blessed, and your eyes are open to what you've seen, and it changes your life. You do a complete turnaround with your life because of what you've seen, and it develops you in your character and in your spiritual life and in your family life, just everything. And especially if you can get your husband or your spouse or your whole family going along with you and serving, it is a transformation in your whole family.
And your whole home changes.
Your whole home changes. One thing you learn to do is appreciate what we have here in the U.S., which is very important. You learn to love people more, and of course that's something that God just instills in you anyway as a follower of His, but you learn to love people more by going on these trips. You learn to look across racial barriers, cultural barriers, and there's a lot of education involved. So not only all of that, but when you get your children involved in doing missions, it will change them too. It will give them a different outlook on their lives, and sometimes it'll even redirect their career paths.
And you just said something, their culture. You're not going to change their culture.
Right.
You're going to assist them.
Exactly.
And that's one of the things that we as Americans sometimes make the mistake. We expect everybody to be just like us or to want to be just like us, and they've got their own culture and their own heritage that they're proud of, and we don't want to go over there and be an ugly American, and especially when we're representing
and
Christ.
Unfortunately, through the years, some people have had attitudes, And that makes us as Americans not very liked at times. So no, you're going over there because God has made people diverse and different cultures. I mean, He placed people in different places on the earth, and that's who they are, and you're not trying to change your culture. And like you said, you're trying to assist them and go over there and help them.
Which brings me to the question of, what did you go that first time thinking you were going to contribute in the way of talents or skills? You know, were you a nurse that you were going to contribute to the medical community, or were you a farmer? And
no, really, I didn't feel like I had any skills. And my husband really didn't feel like he had any skills, and actually he wasn't one that would like to get up and talk or speak or anything like that. We just knew that we were supposed to go, not knowing what we were supposed to do or whatever. And I think that's really when you can be used the best. Is I mean,
you're open to.
You're open, and I'm not saying that if you have some skills you shouldn't use them doing that kind of work, and you should take them over there. But on the other hand, if you don't feel like you have any skills, don't let that prevent you from going either, because there will be something God will use you for over there. He's equipped each one of us to answer His call and to do His call. It's nothing we do, it's everything that He does in our lives. And so, yeah, I didn't feel like I had any skills, but over time God's shown me different areas that I feel stronger in. And my husband now, when he goes, he can get up and preach and teach, and that's just I guess a way it developed. You know, he developed, and God developed him in that calling, and
God strengthens you in the areas that you need to be strengthened.
Right, for His
at
work.
the time.
He matches you to begin with, and then He equips you. You don't worry about I don't know what I would do, or I can't talk to people or whatever. You just go. You just answer and go, and then you'll get everything you need.
And the interesting thing about this is that you really took a leap of faith in going that first time, but after that, there's no question in your mind. And tell me all the countries you've been to. The first one was Uganda?
Okay, well, the very first country was Brazil.
Brazil, okay.
And I'm not going to put them in order, but we've been to Chile, Canada, England, Kenya, Zambia, Tanzania, and I'm probably going to leave something out. But that's ones I can think of right now.
And you've been to Uganda, though,
and
several
Uganda,
times.
yes. Actually, our work in Uganda started in around 1998. And we've been going there almost every year since 1998, working in Uganda. But we've also, gone to some other places too. But Uganda's been our main focus since then.
So you might go in the summer, but you also might go during the Christmas vacation? Or
we have actually gone twice a year
Easter?
at times, just depending on what the work, what work needs to be done.
And time frame.
And people that want to go. Sometimes we'll just go with a team just because they want to go, and we know we've been there, so we can take the team and get them started and that type of thing.
And when you talk about a team, this is a church.
Yes, Crestview Baptist Church.
But it could be a number of churches.
It could be a number of churches.
I know a lot of churches.
Yeah, we haven't always gone with just Crestview. There's been another church in town that's joined us, and so we've, I mean, I look at it non-denominationally,
yes,
really.
Absolutely. I mean, we're going to have to take a break, and we're going to come back in just a minute because we've just barely gotten started on this wonderfully interesting story. Just see you in just a minute.
Stay tuned. West Texas View will be right back.
We can start right back. We don't have to wait.